I think that was one of the greatest risks that I think a lot of people don't have appetite for. So I had payments of about 35 to 40,000 a month that I had to make on my mortgages and my other loans. About 45,000 every month. And during the time when my business would make, say, 50 or 60,000, I had a choice to make. Give the bank 45, remain with 10 or 15 to run operations of the business, or put the entire money in the business, try to accelerate the growth. I took that risk. And I did that for quite some time because I knew that I was not attractive to lenders. So the only money that I could rely on was the money that I was making.
So you had no choice but to make money.
I had no choice but to make money. And when I had the money, I had to decide properly what I'm going to do with that money. I also have a family that has needs, right? I have to balance my business. I have to balance my debts. I have to balance the family. All of these things had to be balanced. So I think because I had great intentions of growing the business and I knew that this business was going somewhere, I took those risks. You know what I said? I said, I'm going to risk this. I will fight with lawyers until the business can pay both the lawyers and the banks at the same time. But if I don't invest in the business will die. If the business dies, I die.
There's nothing you can do there.
Yeah. Sure. So I reinvested a lot in the business, and I don't do a lot of real estate investment because I don't think I have made enough access liquidity to be able to buy real estate. So mostly what I do when I make money, I make sure that it's put into the business. The next steps of the business are put in play.
What are some of the things you reinvest in within the business? Is it systems? Is it machinery, if there's any? Is it more staff members? Is it marketing? Is it social media? What do you invest in? Or what did you invest in at that moment?
Yeah, so initially, when we were just doing brokering services, I would buy cars for guys to be able to move around, right?
So equipment.
Yeah, get equipment. And then when we started now doing social media and realizing that when we are doing social media, we need less guys on the streets.
Because the message gets
right?
there.
Because the message reaches people in their homes and then they call the office, right? So we started now investing in equipment. So we'd buy proper cameras, we'll buy good systems for sound, and then we'll engage engineers. I have a full media team with a producer, a director, cinematographers, and then a full marketing team, right? I've invested in that. Because for the content that we produce, the quality has to be that high because the people that we are appealing to are corporates to fund our projects. And corporates are very particular. And I know them so well because I work for them. They're so particular about how their brand is represented, right? So we invested a lot in the equipment and in the people. So that's our money really goes towards payroll and equipment. That's where most of the money is going. And then we have also accelerated our social media now. We have engaged consultants who are helping us outside the country. We also have graphic designers. And these guys, they're quite expensive. Yep. But we invest in them because we know what they can produce for us today can work for us for the next 2-3 years. So it's a huge investment. So when we put 200,000 in, we know that the value is probably going to earn us a couple of millions going forward.
So you said something quite interesting, right? Which begs the question. At first, you invested in the business, the office, the aesthetics, and the business failed. Now it sounds to me you are reinvesting because through the social media and the growth of the business, people are calling the office, so they can't call a non-existent office. Yes. So are we going back into investing into the office now Is the time ripe for that?
No, the time is definitely ripe for that. As we speak right now, we are restructuring the entire office. We are setting up 2 studios in the office. We are setting up a webinar studio also, revamping the receptions and all of those things. Because now we expect people to come. Because we invite guests to come for interviews, and when they come in, they have to see that this is actually a real business that operates. So we are spending a bit of money there. And to someone, it might look like we are wasting money because we are spending quite a lot, engaged an interior designer to do the works for us. So it's in hundreds of thousands.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. For one program that we do, we can recover all of that money before the season even ends. So for me, it's not a thing of, because I've seen what other guys have done in the media space. They've gotten opportunities to get good jobs. And every time when the money comes in, they forget what makes them money. They buy the car, they buy the house. But what they really need is a studio. They need lights. They need people who can continue to produce, right? Otherwise, you won't be able to sustain even a season of any program. We have seen guys struggling, running around looking for cameras because they couldn't buy a camera, and they're running around with a Range Rover. You know, you can imagine. Why don't you just sell one tire and go and buy a good camera? You know, so we don't want to make that mistake. We understand that as a black person, you have to work twice as hard to prove that you are actually good for the money when it comes to business. So we don't want any one of our clients to second guess us and say, no, we are not sure about this, guys, right? We want to prove over and over that we are capable of delivering at that level all the time. And that means that I have to sacrifice my own personal, enjoyment of life for some time. I'm still young. I'm doing 40 this year. Hopefully in the next 10 years.
You don't drink, ne?
Huh?
You don't drink.
You mean the good stuff?
Yeah.
When it permits, when time permits.
You look like someone who's 30 years, not 40. Means you're taking very good care of yourself.
No, we try. Health is very good.
So how important is it to, I don't know if you want to continue in that thought of you still young, or would you like me to move to the next question? Because I interrupted you.
Yes. So what I was trying to say was, right now I have the energy, I have the time, and I'm still building networks. So it's not really time for me to be enjoying money. When maybe mid-40s, late 40s, my networks will be solid also.